guys, it's Clay. Got a new guitar to show off. This is a PRS NF3. Just wanted to do, I actually just picked this up. Since I got the XFX2, I have been selling stuff like a madman, and had found a good deal on this bad boy used, and so I pulled the trigger, and I want to do a little bit of a review, kind of a first impressions, also show some tones. It's a really unique guitar in terms of PRS. The big draw is obviously these narrow field pickups. That's why it's the NF3 narrow fields. Basically, it takes the same wire as the 5708s, the humbuckers that have been extremely popular in the last couple of years, and it kind of condenses them into more of a, I don't want to call it a P90 because it's narrower than a P90 or a mini humbucker or any of that. It's kind of its own thing. It's very unique sound, kind of unlike anything I've ever heard before, and I really like the pickups. That's kind of the main reason why I was attracted to this instrument. And they sound great, and I'm going to show them off. They're extremely responsive. You know, they have a lot of different shades and textures, and they're all very familiar, but at the same time very unique, which I think is cool, and it's a rare combination that can be difficult to pull off. Volume tone, 5-way switch. Actually has a Carina body, which is very interesting. You know, Carina was first made famous in some of those old Gibsons, but you know, it's kind of made a comeback as of late. It's got a couple of, I want to say it's people who generally consider it somewhat similar to mahogany in terms of its tonality, but it's a lot lighter, which is a huge plus. It is a very nice lightweight instrument, which I really like. Kind of a Strat style body. It has a maple neck, which I really like. I'm a huge fan of maple necks. It also has a very interesting finish. I believe that I don't know exactly what the technology is, but the statement is that the finish is in the wood itself, and I can definitely repeat that. It is extremely, it feels like you're actually holding a piece of wood. It's extremely comfortable to play on, and I'm really picky about the feel of my necks, and I've loved this so far. It has the pattern design, which is, I owned a Bacardi Standard in the past, and that had a wide fat, and compared to that, I want to say that it's a little bit, it's different. It's not quite as hefty, but it's mostly because this almost has a little bit of a V shape to it. Not much, not like maybe a Clapton V shape, but a little bit somewhere in between. It just doesn't have the big shoulders that the wide fat does, but it's still very comfortable. I wouldn't say it's huge, not even significantly bigger than the Fender Modern C. It's bigger than that, but not like a huge baseball. I've got some 1-inch baseball necks. This is definitely not quite as big. It kind of is comparable to the Warmoth 59 Roundback, I would say, but a little bit of a V shape, which I love. I think it's extremely comfortable. Maple neck. And overall, just one thing that is, I think everybody knows this, but just to be really clear, PRS makes really high quality instruments. That's one, I've always really looked up to PRS for that regard. I think they make some really nice guitars, and this is no exception. It's extremely quality, the hardware, even just little things like the feel of the volume knobs or the switch or the tuners. I mean, everything is just very quality, and this is no exception. So let's go ahead and get some tones. That's really probably what this is all about. I'm plugged into my XFX2, recording into Reaper, and I'm going to start off with kind of a Fender Twin type of a patch, and then I'm going to go into more of a Marshall-y with a, I believe it's a Sir Badger 30. So we'll kind of run the gamut here, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Definitely listen to these pickups, especially when I mess around with the volume knob and go through the different positions. They're really interesting sounding. So here's my demo.